The product of two whole numbers is equal to 24. If one of the numbers is 5 more than the other, what are the numbers? We have to take note of this. They said the numbers should be whole numbers, okay? All right, this question looks like a question leading to... Okay, let me not go there yet. Let's start. In solution, I would like to use two methods. Method 1. I usually use two methods where possible so that my students can choose the one they prefer and they can continue working with that. Or if they are expected to solve using a particular method, it won't be that it's only one method that they know, okay? All right, so let's go on. So they said the product of two whole numbers is equal to 24. The product of two whole numbers. The first thing we do is to represent the whole numbers with maybe alphabet. Let's go. Let the whole number, or let's say let the first whole number be x. All right, the next information is if one of the numbers is 5 more than the other, okay? So let the second number be, when a number is 5 more than the other, while the other is x, so 5 more should be plus 5. That is x plus 5. All right, we've gotten our two numbers. The first one is x, and the second one is x plus 5. All right, so let's go on. Then the next thing they said is the product of the two whole numbers is equal to 24. So product is multiplication. So we have to multiply x and then x plus 5. Product now is equal to x times x plus 5 in brackets. We have to put it in bracket so that we can expand, okay? It's time to open the bracket. X times x is going to give me x squared. And remember, they said the product is equal to 24. We shouldn't forget that. So x times x, opening the bracket, gives me x squared. X times 5 gives me plus 5x. And this is equal to 24. All right, this is looking like a quadratic equation. Of course, a quadratic equation is any equation that has the highest power of the unknown as 2. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. For us to be able to solve this quadratic equation, we have to equate everything to 0. How do we do that? We have to move 24 to meet this other expression on the left, okay? So 24 has an imaginary plus, remember? So when it's crossing the equality sign, to change to minus. So let's go. We now have x squared plus 5x. 24 crosses over and becomes minus 24. And this is now equal to 0. Good. The first method here that I want to use is factorization method. In factorization method, we have to get the factors that can multiply to get negative 24, but add up to get positive 5, okay? So let's see factors now. By the side of the paper, we can have factors. Factors of 24, we have 1 and 24. Combination of 1 and 24 cannot give us okay, let's write them out. 1 times 24. There's no combination that can give us plus 5. Another pair of factors of 24 we have 2 times 12. And there's no combination of 2 and 12 that can give us plus 5. So let's go on. The next pair will be 3 times 8. Okay. If we combine 8 and 3, either with negative signs, okay, negative sign on one or negative sign on the other, we can have a 5. But right now we have to check the one we have to put negative sign. Remember, when the negative sign is on the smaller number, when you're adding up, the answer will become positive because the bigger number has a positive sign, okay? But when the negative sign is on the bigger number, the answer becomes negative because the negative sign is on the bigger number. Remember, the answer has the sign on the bigger number when you're adding integers with negative and positive signs. All right, so let's go on. Right now we have a positive 5. That means our positive sign should be on 8. 3 should have the negative. So let's go. We'll have now negative 3 plus 8. That will give us positive 5. Okay, so this is what we have to use. Negative 3 plus 8. So right now we'll use negative 3 plus 8 to replace plus 5. So we'll write again x squared minus 3x plus 8x minus 24, remember, equals 0. Okay, we put our brackets to separate them. Put our brackets. In the first bracket, we'll have to factorize. X is common, we bring x out, and inside we can put x minus 3. Okay, because when we open these brackets now, we'll have x times x is x squared, x times negative 3 is negative 3x. There's one thing I have always told my students. Do not try factorizing the second bracket. Just go ahead, whatever you have in these brackets here, leave a little space, put it into this one. It will work out. Unless you did not factorize well. So this is now equal to 0. What do I now put here to make sure I get 8x when I open the bracket? That will be plus 8. And if you check it out, you see that plus 8 times negative 3 is going to give us negative 24. Okay? All right. We're almost there. So x negative 3, that's x minus 3 is common. We cancel out 1. We'll now have x plus 8. We'll put in brackets. And then the x minus 3 in brackets again equal to 0. All right. At this point, we'll have to separate them to get our first answer. First answer now, using x plus 8 equal to 0. What does it imply? X will now be equal to 8 moves over to this other side, crossing the equality sign, and changes to negative 8. Okay? That's our first answer. The second answer will have x minus 3 equal to 0. What does it imply? X will now be equal to negative 3 crosses the equality sign to become 3. All right. They said the product of two whole numbers. I asked us to take note of this whole number thing here. Whole. For us to know what to do when we get to this point. At this point now, we have a negative number. So the answer we got here is x equal to negative 8 or 3. But they want us to get whole numbers. They want the answer to be whole numbers. So the only whole number here is 3. Okay? So x, first value of x, first value of x is equal to 3. That's a whole number. If x is 3, second number is x plus 5. Therefore, second number here now is equal to 3 being x. Remember, x is 3 plus 5, and that will give us 8. The two numbers are 3 and 8. Okay, I hope you understood the process. Remember, we had to take whole numbers. Solving the quadratic equation gave us -8 or 3, but the question needed whole number. Okay, the question needed whole number, so we had to take the first whole number that came out, which is 3, and then going back to the equation we formed, we had x times x plus 5 in brackets equal to 24. So getting x and then x plus 5 as 8 will give us 3 times 8, and that is 24. Okay, all right, take your time, go through the solving once more. Remember, I told you I want to solve this question using two methods. But because of this video being too lengthy, I have to solve using the other method, that's method 2, in another class. We also can solve this question using graphical method once we get to quadratic equation. You can save this video to watch later to really understand the process. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to forward your questions in the comment section. Thank you. See you in my next class.